Hello there, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. This is the Jack of all trades with the foul mouth, coming to Urban, and this is part 2 to the final end of the build of the Lindberg President's Liner model kit. This is my end of build review, where I talk to you about what I think about the kit, over the pros and cons of the kit, and my recommendations for you, and finally my scoring. Well, for starters, kit is pretty nice, as you can see overall. It's not a bad model, but there are a few slight issues and shit I have to deal with. And I'll show you the instructions and all this whatnot, so you can better understand the fucking trouble I went through to get it from the pile of fucking plastic to this credible likeness of an American President Line's ship. So let's go ahead and take a decent look at the model. And I'll explain to you what I did and what I had to do. Okay, I did finally get to sit on the base somewhat, but I'll probably take it off the base when I spin it around. This is the box it came in, of course. It says it's from 1988, but this kit is much older, much older than this. Kit originally was made in the 1950s by Pyro, and then Lifelike did it in the 60s, and then of course Lindberg bought the dies and molds in the 80s, and then up until today they still made this fucking kit. Same old shit. And of course, with a model kit as old as this, there is a lot of fit issues, meaning parts don't want to fit the way they should, and I'll explain to you that. The bow deck did not want to stay in place when I tried to glue it in. I had to do a lot of trimming of what they call trimming the fat. I did some up here, trimmed a little bit along the sides. I put a lot of glue down, got it in, put a shit ton of rubber bands on it to hold it, and I put more glue around the edges, meaning I put glue around these edges. So this fucking piece stayed down pretty decently, but then you have the stern, which is a very tiny little piece. And if you want to see on the instructions, I'll show you. Son of a bitch. Oh fuck, I broke the flag off. Where'd it go? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I just lost the flag. Great fuck. I'll have to get another one out. I've got a couple of them. As you can see, this stern was a small piece, and it had to go down in there, and that was a bit of a bitch. So I did the same thing as I did in the front. I put a bunch of glue in there and put glue around it, and of course I put a shit ton of rubber bands to hold it for about an hour, and it stuck. And of course I painted it while it was inside. Now as for the what's it called, the one deck, this cargo handling deck here, which was actually a massive piece, which goes from here to here, which includes this deck here. That was another bitch of a piece to get in, because you have to fit it around this section here, which is that bit right there, and I had to spread it out just a little bit to pop it in, and of course a shit ton of rubber bands and a lot of glue got that fucker to stay in place. And of course this piece here as well, that piece was a bitch, but I just set it down and I had to hold it for about 10-15 minutes for that fucker to hold. But the only pieces that I didn't have trouble with was this one, and this one. This one dropped down where it's supposed to have, that one and that one dropped down where they're supposed to have, which that was a fucking miracle in itself. And that's the way it basically goes. And if you look at these instructions, the fucking fan is blowing in the fucking kingdom come. There we go. Okay, if you look at these instructions, of course, he's part of the model. There we go. If you look at these instructions, it's an exploded diagram, which pretty self-explanatory. But of course, then they have like these numbers and stuff that are highlighted. Of course, they got numbers here and here. Well, what they are talking about, the numbers that are circled, that is your steps. They should have circled them too. And of course, in the numbers here, like number 21, that would be your part. That would be your part number. You see what I'm saying? Center king post. 21, see? Part 21 right here. That would be for your king post, which would be these cranes up here. Those little bastards didn't fit in the holes right here because there's these little plugs that's supposed to go into the decks. They didn't fit, so I chopped them off and just glued them flat to the deck. Like I said, a lot of this shit didn't fit right. Like this part here, you know, number 16, which is the twin booms under curved railing. They didn't fit exactly like they said they would, but I got them to work, and it works just fine. So I think the only thing that fit somewhat pretty decently was the, you know, of course, you know, the foremasts, they fit fine. And of course their miscellaneous cargo handling equipment and shit, it fit just fine. And the 2 smokestacks fit just fine. But, you know, another thing I didn't like about it, you know, was the fact that this was a 2-piece haul, meaning you had to put this thing in 2 pieces. There's 2 halves. And these 2 halves had a very hard fucking time getting them together in perfect alignment. I fought with that for about a half hour or so, and I was really absolutely fucking pissed. Yeah, you don't want to get me pissed, so. Oh yay, my flag is way over there. I'm going to have to get it back and put it back on there. So sweet. I didn't lose it. As you can see though, I mean, once I got done fighting the son of a bitch, there was a lot. This model is definitely a very good likeness to the American President line ships of the time. You know, the 2 sisters, the Wilson and the Cleveland. Like I said, my original intention was to build the Cleveland, but because the decals were so fucking old and they fell apart on me, I had to do the Wilson instead. But like I said, though, you know, it was a very credible likeness. Now here we go. We're gonna score this thing now. For the painting, I would give it I give it a 5, because a lot of the detail you see on here, you have to paint that detail on. It's not decals. So a lot of the stuff you see on here, I had to paint on. So, and to do that, you have to do your research. So I give the painting a 5. Now as for the assembly of the model, I will give that a 3, about a 3 to a 3.5, because with such an old fucking model, there was a lot of fit issues. Like the decks had, you know, the 2 halves of the hull, the decks, and all that other shit. You will fight with this fucker before it turns out the way you want it. And then finally, the overall appearance, I would give it a 7.5. You know, if you put enough time into it, it will look just like this. It'll look good, but it'll take time. And that's what it is. You know, modeling is just about, you know, passing idle hours away, making something, you know, from a bunch of junk pieces. So, the kit overall, I would rate the kit a solid 6.5. Just like I said, you know, it's an older kit. Even the newer ones, even the new Lindberg kits now, they're the same thing as the old Pyro kits and shit. They're going to have their fit issues. They're going to have all that bullshit with them. So you're going to fight with them. It doesn't matter if you buy an older kit or you buy a newer kit, you're going to have the same fucking issues. But if you can get past the issues and fight it like I did, you will have one fucking amazing looking ship that will look different than anything else you have built before it. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. solid 6.3, 6.5. So, 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 there you have it, guys. That is my end of build review for the Lindberg Classic Replica Series President's Liner Model Kit. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below for me and I'll get back with you. And as always, if you're new to the channel, you like what I do, you like ships, you like model building, you like trains, it don't fucking matter what it is. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will never miss a video and you'll become part of the Commodore's crew. Until next time, this is Commodore Urban, saying have smooth seas and clear skies and happy sailing with you, and God bless. Until next time, see you later, take care, bye-bye.